Well, you can't be in Mensa unless you do, I think.
That's another thing too, man. There's some brilliant motherfuckers that are in the wrestling business.
You got to be smart to be on top,
Yeah,
and not just for the and leaving politics completely out of it.
right.
You got to be smart just to be able to figure out spots and stuff. Yeah, and putting the in getting the most out of the least.
And you got to know. I mean, and it comes with, of course, with the more time you're in the ring. But I always was amazed when you get to that point in your career where you lay something out, you call it, you do it, and it gets the exact response that you knew it was going to. And like you basically could maestro that fucking 10,000 people any which way you wanted to. You could fucking, yeah. That,
To me, it's always when I was like, I love the feeling when I'm on the cell, and I'm half up and I'm half down, and my feet are split apart, and my body's getting like I'm trying to lean forward to get up, but I can't quite get moving, and the audience is just with you, and when they're with you, and you're like, I could fall down now, I could run, I could do anything, and they're just gonna stay with you and be with it.
right.
The greatest
Yeah.
feeling.
And I think that's what I always say that there's like three parts of the high of being a pro wrestler. The first one is when they hear your music, and the crowd, if you're over, the crowd fucking pops. Then it's when they see you, and then it's when you get in the ring and you fucking you. That's like the third part of the entrance. You walk down and then you do whatever you're gonna do. It's in the corner or whatever the fuck it is, and it's just like there's not a drug that's been put on this planet that's higher that makes you higher than that.
And I love that none of those three things have anything to do with the match.
None,
Right.
none.
Yeah, so much of what gets over has nothing to do with the match. Like you should, like they say, you should have four moves, four distinct moves. But half my moves were like my pose, sitting in the corner, you know, and it's you don't need to have I tried to have a bunch of moves to go with it, but it was my Gaga that and Kevin's Gaga, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
I to me it's like if you it was always to work smarter, not fucking harder.
yeah.
Like I watch people like I watch matches now, and I'll watch like not the bullshit flippy flops shit, but actual good chain wrestling. And you
Mm-hmm.
always think to yourself like it would have took nothing to fucking been a decent, there was not because there were no 6'10" chain wrestlers. And I'm thinking, then I say to myself, okay, what would Scott Hall say if he was in the car with me? The reason there's no fucking 6'10" chain wrestlers is there's no reason to be a 6'10" chain
Right.
wrestler. Like, why would you waste your fucking time?
Right.
You know?
I always figured the Undertaker, if he would have been 6'3" instead of 6'10", he would have had like twice the career that he had, and he had a hell of like as good a career as you can possibly have.
Yeah,
But if he because he could work, but at 6'10" he couldn't. He had to be in the creature feature match.
yeah. No, he was one of the first guys to kind of use some of the UFC holds and
Right.
shit like that and bring it into pro wrestling.
Scotty, when you were in the Monster Factory, the wrestling school is a thing, and I'm sure there's a very broad spectrum of competency in wrestling schools, right? Where would you have ranked the Monster Factory then, 80s, as far as preparedness for a young wrestler?
Um, I don't know. Like, it was so much different back then. There weren't any schools to go to. Like, it wasn't. There's a Monster Factory. It was like the first school that there was for wrestling. And then and
Johnny Rods had
and
something,
Johnny
right?
Rods, yeah, and I think this bodybuilder Ken Passarello. had a school attached to his gym or something, and Malenko's had one, but I tried to find the Malenkos, but I couldn't find anybody who had any number on them. So that's why I would have went to the Malenko school instead.
Remember the
But
first place I got dragged down to was fucking Matsuda's down in Tampa, who broke in
really,
Hulk. Yeah, that was the first place they brought me to. And God, what was that? What was the name of that gym down there? Fuck. It was like a famous old school Tampa gym. It was almost like Vince Guarana's, but it was the Tampa version of. I can't think of the guy's name now that owned the gym, but I met him down there, and I was 300, but the last thing he wanted was like anybody like me to break into business. And it was like everything he could do to fucking. He was trying to get me to go to Japan to a dojo and fucking like wash the fucking guy's backs, like learn respect and all this shit. And I was like,